show me just a little bit of honesty. I hope I got a heart that I can salvage, but it's getting harder now to recall. I know well what let out both try. You could have anything you wanted it all for your fool's gold. And I know well why deaf and half blind. You could get anything you wanted, yeah, I would have handed it all over, falling for you. I need to fall for you, for you. Came in and you're looking like a sign of grace. I know, but I can never match your name to face my fault. But when I noticed it was far too late, you left a fingerprint on my soul.
Welcome everybody, we are here, it's in Nordschleife week for the 90 minutes of the Nürburgring, and we are here with the qualifying, which actually started earlier than I actually remembered. Okay, everything is okay, forgot actually this one here. It's not really helpful, but it works. So here we are with the 90 minutes of Nordschleife, and as you can see there are some colors more than the usual, because we have even the intermediates in this session and everybody has to go on their own practically, since the lap is so long they can effectively jump the gun whenever they want. 40 drivers are currently in our qualifying. Possibly some others are going to join in upcoming minutes, since I hope I'm not the only one who didn't see the fact that the qualifying was slightly earlier than expected. This is also the last round in the championship, but we have effectively oops. Wrong. Okay. I had to just make sure the music was effectively off, because I don't know if OBS actually takes the live music into the effective live stream. I'm not really sure, I don't want to test it out, I'll be honest. The championship has just actually been already packed for the Pro class, as the McLaren, which is not in this session at the moment. I don't see the McLaren, in fact it's not here. Yes, it appears to be like this, because as I was saying, which has already been packed last week with the McLaren absolutely demolishing the field. I just need... okay. Voila. So with 40 drivers I expect nothing but certain mayhem in the first minutes. Nothing to be too scared about, since this track is so long. We had a 4 hours race some time ago, and tonight is yellow flag in the YouTube corner. But as I was saying, in the pro field, it's the McLaren number 67, which had exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 wins, because Tom Wegman certainly put the name on the championship. But as I said earlier, also the semi-pro, there are currently 2 fights going on for the championship. We've got the A field, which has a literal 3 points gap between the first and second, with Daniel Duarte in the 155 McLaren. Here in this McLaren with yellow and black livery. And we've got Alessandro Germani in the M4 GT3 777. Here he is. They literally have 3 points of gap between each other, with Duarte in first and Alessandro Germani in second. And then in Semi-Pro B, if SimGrid will work, we've got Pocht Aruk with 345 points, more than 50 points clear of Eric Latil in the 111 Aston Martin 111, which is here, as the Frenchman is more than 50 points away from the 403, which is here. It's a long field. I'm finding difficult to actually reach everybody, but you can see that the colors, the red and grey number plates, are respectively for the Semi-Pro A and Semi-Pro B class, with the white, which is destined to the Pro and the Alien class. At the moment, we've got a 807.0 Van Til and 214 Ferrari, as always, certainly putting a show. He missed the last round, in which he still maintained the lead, even if Benjamin Eck in the 86 BMW made the win in class. There is a 20 points gap between Benjamin Eck and Jentel Van Tillen, with the 214 and the 86, which are not only following each other on track. Ooh, unfortunately for the Belgian, he will have to abort the lap, very likely. They're also one after the other in this session, but 20 points are, well, to be fair, are a lot. Is he trying the overtake? He is trying the overtake. He doesn't want to abort the lap, because he is very quick at the moment. An entire second, but an entire second here is not much, since the track is so long. Everybody is putting their lap times. It's going to be a different qualifying than the usual. So you can see Benjamin Eck sliding with the rear. Then Veldman is currently in third place, just entering the GP layout. Well, the shortcut of the GP layout. Then we have got Van Lieshout in the number 100, and then Chris Schneider is in the number 14 for the intermediate B. No, A. A. It's actually A, not B. In the current situation, Chris Schneider is in the standings in 13th place. He just did 3 rounds, the last 3, because he just joined the championship with a 4th place twice and an 11th in the second to last round. So he definitely is not really competing for the championship lead, but he certainly wants a win to his name, which at the moment seems likely with the qualifying situation. Then we got the leader in Semi-Pro B, which is also the leader in the championship, and this is looking great for Pocharu to win the championship, because essentially he just needs to start the race to earn himself the championship. And we said to not see our championship winner in Pro Class, with Tom Wegman not participating in the qualifying session nor apparently the race. Also, the number has decreased. It is now 39 drivers, and that was a lot of lag. As Concretel, I have to mention, is now in the lead. I'm not really putting a lot of over excitement over these, because essentially the first lap is always not the main one. It's always like a sort of safe lap which you create to effectively set a lap. As we can see, the 170 is going to restart the lap. They've got an 805.4 currently, as Van Tielen is still improving. Unfortunately, I never really memorized this track, and it's not like having the track map under my eye is going to help anything, since every corner is so little. The name is so little, and I really can't understand where we are moment to moment. Since unfortunately someone in the Assetto Corsa hub decided to put the minimap in the wrong way. Not sure where the decision comes from, but okay, I guess. So for now we'll go with interior. Into the carousel we go. One of the few points I actually know perfectly where it is. There will be minimap under my eyes. Into one of the worst sectors in the world, in my mind. I actually hate it with all my heart. Because my mind is awful. I think I will just say the corner name only when, essentially only when someone crashes in said corner, because otherwise it becomes awfully impossible. Maybe because I really don't have a German accent nor a German knowledge at all. Oh, for now Van Tielen is tying perfectly Concretel's lap time. Concretel, who is in the championship quite below the expectation after he jumped some rounds. He is in 7th only. Well, some rounds he actually jumped the majority of them, with only the first two rounds being completed with a 1st and 3rd. But apparently he is not over with it. The section is flat, and then you brake here just prior to the curb. 4th and then 3rd, maybe even 2nd if you want. With Van Tielen, who just lost some time in the final bits. And then over the main straight, which is dotting a hole. Speaking of Nürburgring, unfortunately, the 24-hour Nürburgring didn't go as well as I thought, as the 230 is now in 3rd place, 6 seconds away from the 805 put earlier. As the fog, as I was saying, existed, let's say. Ooh, that was it a hit? Maybe not. It was just a visual glitch. But Van Tielen, after all this time, he doesn't get the pole. He will remain just outside with 7 attempts separating Concretel and Van Tielen in the 24 kilometers long track. Van Lieshout in the number 100 is about to complete the lap, and it's going to be an improvement in terms of time, but not in terms of position, keeping away 2 times from Jaudal. We've got also Schneider about to complete the lap. He is just behind Duarte in the session. Remember that Duarte and Germani are the ones who are battling each other in the champ for literally 3 points. The problem is that now Duarte is 8th, Germani is 15th. But it's going to be close between Schneider and Duarte since the Hungarian is about to improve his own lap time. The question is if it's going to be enough. That was a bit of a mistake. In fact, he lost up to 3 tenths and maybe 4, maybe 5, even 6. He's losing a lot of time. He just went wide, but he just made it into the lead in class. And he's going to be the pole sitter. So now in 8th place. Moving on, it's very difficult because you can see the issue with the Joker lap. You don't really have your lap validated in the track map, nor in the race control, but you have in the game, so I don't really know who is going to complete the lap, which is not really making things easy. Now we are in 41 drivers, so some others have joined the pack. I'm really looking forward for the very start of the race. So Corvin is going to set his improvement. He's now in 12th place. Quite some time away from the lead, 11 seconds away with 8:17. Congretel is improving, but he just started the lap, so it's way too early to decide on anything. Number 2 is about to complete the lap, still without lap time. The next one is going to be the 7920. It was my door. I'm struggling to understand why these things happen to me. Apparently someone decided to ring my door, and I don't know who. so it doesn't help. Bellman currently in 5th place. This Porsche had some difficulties in the last rounds, especially in Laguna Seca last time. Now he's trying his best, and apparently he is doing it. For now, putting the car in 5th place. It is also improving the time. I'm quite surprised by Van Lischut. The number 100 is a bit further away than I expected. I will admit that the race control is not helping, since at the moment I'm not really seeing anything worthy. I'm just seeing red numbers, and every single one of them is wrong. So I'm really struggling to even provide information, since I don't know any information at all. I'm seeing the number 96 is completing the lap, which is something with his Senna inspired livery that has been used by the McLaren F1 team in the last round in Monaco. Next round is Canada, and Mark Stewart apparently slowed it down, so I'm struggling to understand the reason there. But he's going to set the 28th lap time, 41 seconds off the pace. I think the 183 is going to be the next one to put a lap time. the Sky Tempesta Racing livery for the Semi-Pro B. Someone I'm very interested about for now is the car which has the better improvement. The top 10, which is Drobat, 10 seconds away from the leader overall, but he's just 2 seconds away from Schneider, which is essentially the car he has to beat. And it requires those 2 seconds. He is currently 1.5 away from a possible, or 1.5 away from himself, so half a second away from a possible lead in class. Little reminder for everyone who is not on track to the fact that you can use the jockey lap. You don't have to do the entire Nordschleife. West Congretel is now struggling because the car in front is likely not going to let him pass. And it's unfortunate because Congretel had, I'm saying had, but he still has half a second improvement on himself that would extend the gap to Van Tielen by a second. But he has to decide now whether to submit the overtake or to stay behind and essentially abort the lap, but I don't know if he has enough time to attempt another lap time. Well, he definitely has. In fact, he decides to go for the latter, putting fresh rubber and going for the jockey lap. So the next car with an important improvement will be Grains. In all of these, Pochesaruk actually lost the lead in the qualifying session, as the 403 is now in second place behind Haas, who just exited the pits for Gazelle Motorsports, and he is going to go for the jockey lap. So if you see cars exiting the pits now, it's completely normal. They can just use the jockey lap. There are just 3 minutes to go. Surprised that the number 29, the 3-3, the 531, the 100, oh, even Eck now in the pits. Robot now in the Dottinger Hole. Double yellow ahead, which now disappears. So probably someone put the car in the wall just at the end here. In these 24 hours, well, 24 hours, 7.5 hours. Ooh! What has happened? I know what has happened. I just didn't expect that. So we've got Congretel exiting the pits, the jockey lap, goes in front of the Mercedes, who doesn't have enough time to react, and that is going to be a big problem, because you can see the Ferrari just exiting out of nowhere, and that was the pole lap, very luckily in class, and I expect some penalty already, because that could be a penalty for Congretel, because you can obviously let me see something, because I don't want to say stupid things. Oh, well, I don't have the roll, so I can't know. I can physically know. Oh, wait, I have. Let me just see. Okay, no. Fair. Okay, so there isn't any rule about not doing the joker lap, but you certainly can't do the joker lap and impede someone else so blatantly. So that could be a penalty for Congratel, and he could lose the pole lap. Not in terms of raw qualifying lap, but in terms of time penalty. That could be quite the problem, as we are now 7 seconds away from the end of the qualifying session. So this means that everybody has to complete the lap, and it's going to be a short one because 3 minutes only is the max time lap. What did I say? The max time is just 3 minutes, so I don't think Van I don't think it's quite obvious that Van doesn't have enough time. Grains just completes the lap, but it's not going to be an improvement. And the 134, I think it's going to be the very last car. Orishkin, just in 27th. He makes an improvement, but it's not going to be a great one. He just sits in 25th place, as only essentially 30 cars put an effective lap time, with Stewart and Brown putting a safe lap. I think Tobin is way too far away. So the only car we've got is the 214. Which is... oh no, Van Tielen just entered the Nordschleife, so essentially... maybe the 17 can still do it. Which is... Diego Carvalho. In the number 17. He has... a minute and a half, and it's just at the beginning of Dotting Ho. It could be very close, but he could do it. He is very much on the limit, but there is a chance. You have roughly a minute and a half between here and the finish line, depending on essentially the car class, but in this case it's GT3, so you have roughly a minute, and I think he is safe. I think he's going to put the time in the slot. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going to be the lap time, since as I said, race control is not really helping. The 202 was about to start the final rush in the Dottingham, but he either crashed or decided that it was not a good lap at all. The number 17 is going to put the car in position number 30 behind Cotterill in the 108. So Congratel will be your pole sitter for tonight's race for G League Esports. Although I think the robot will not be happy with it. Only incident in the qualifying session. 8:05, 4:37, absolutely astonishing lap time, and Van Tielen is not really that far away, 8:06.1. Nearly 7 tenths away from the Frenchman. We are not going to have a full formation lap for obvious reasons, mostly because a formation lap would be 18 minutes. I'm not even saying it just for saying, because that's effectively what a formation lap is in real life, so that should be roughly the same here. Congratel will start then in the pole position for Alien class and overall. Then we got Van Tielen for SimGrid in Belgium. Then Eck is just behind in 86 with Grains for FNM. Then Veldman starts in the number 29 in 5th place. And Jawda in 531 in the McLaren. Then Valishut is in number 100 as the Dutchman starts in 7th. Chris Schneider will be your pole sitter in intermediate A, with Duarte, championship leader, and Robas just following. Then Chris is in 11th, your pole sitter in semi-pro B is Hannu Tuomainen. I think I don't know Finnish. I'm sorry if I destroyed your surname, Mr. Tuomainen. Corbin follows in 14th, with Haas in 14th for Gazelle Motorsport, and your leader in championship, Pochtaruk, in 15th place. Then we've got Scholle in 16th for Top Tier Motorsport, with Jones in 17th. Germany follow up, runner up in the semi-pro A in 18th only. Massenzi in 19th for ATS Corsa. Novak is in 20th for Advisor Racing Team, with Canton in 21st place. Then we've got the Shonk, Van Horn, Serov, Oreshkin, only 25th place for him. Zedev, Yaroshenko, Shekari, Kotteril in 29th, and then Carvalho in 30th, last car who submitted the lap time. Then Messina, Stewart, Brown, then Garby only 34th, I just noticed, in the Andretti delivered car. Smith, then Tobben, Junior, Sampson, Leithil, Robinson in the 336, quite the surprise there for the number 336 in 40th place. And then completing the field is Gianluca Donzi in FMP. So up with the leader, as the 792 is actually going to start from the pit lane. So either a mistake, a huge mistake if any, or a bold tactic to avoid any incident. It's going to be 90 minutes of racing with a pit stop, mandatory pit stop in the middle. As always, let's remind you, I will remind you that there are prices for the winners in each class, 40 euros, then 30 euros, then 20 euros, respectively for Alien, then Pro, and then Semi-Pro, both A and B, and a ticket for the Estero Grand Final Qualifier event, which will take place this summer. There is no fixed refueling time. You have to refuel, but you don't have to change the tires, so we could see some bold tactics here. Although I doubt it, but in 90 minutes you never know. Maybe someone would choose to not change the tires. But here we are for the very start of the final round of the Masters in the green hell for 90 minutes of racing. And it's green light, and away we go with a very good start by the McLaren in 4th place, which is now in 3rd. Congratulations remains in the lead, and I think it's going to be Vantinen on the inside, which covers for Grains, who was trying to go in the inside, and it's for a brief moment a side-by-side between 2nd and 3rd, but it will remain like this for the time being. Oh, there is a huge crash behind. I think a lot of cars have collided there. There is a huge pack of cars who impacted on each other. And I find it very difficult to understand what really happened there. As we go back in the lead since... Oh, that was an overtake nearly put together by the number 214, as the Ferrari, driven by the Frenchman, remains in the very lead of it all. 214 with Sim Racing Belgium is still in 2nd place. Oh, over the curb, I think there was a little mistake there, which put the car offset. Grains in all of this is now in 3rd place, with Eck just following, and Veldman just lurking. Meanwhile, Tuominen made a lot of positions. As there is the overtake for Duarte, leader in Semi-Pro A in the championship, who lost some positions compared to Germany, who gained some. Germany gained 6 positions since the start of the race. and he is clearly on a mission to get the very lead of this little train. Already gapped 2 seconds by Chris Schneider. So on board with Congretel. You can already see a massive gap being created between Van Tielen and Grains, who at this point is trying to hold up as many cars as physically possible. Ooh, there is some contact behind. Oh, 3 cars have been involved there. With Chris Hars, Paul Sitter. No, not Paul. Ooh, the Ferrari is off. That was curving. Curving off. Completely off. Into Fugals. I think it is Flugplatz. I would like to see a contact of what exactly happened there between the Ferrari and the number 9. Oh, it was very misjudged by the Porsche there. Massencio is now in the lead because... Oh, Germany is off! Oh, this is a huge one for the Semi-Pro A standings. Oh, he just went on the grass and lost the car all by himself, bit on the gravel and put it just in front of the wall. Trying to recover as quick as possible. But he's now off completely. He's now into the pits and that's championship over for him. As Kiss is now trying to put the overtake over Tomanen. But I think, without too much doubt, that Duarte is now your winner in the Semi-Pro A in the championship, since his main rival crashed out on himself. Meanwhile, behind, don't see. Oh, there is some holding up there. Robinson, who started practically from the very last place, is already in 21st place, trying to make as many overtakes as physically possible. And now he's just behind the number 96 of Stewart and Novak. Battling for position number 19. But back behind, Donsi clearly wants to make a pass as smoothly and quickly as possible, as Duarte made a huge mistake there, because he has been losing positions. Oh, he went also into the wall. But that's not the first time he went into the wall. So that's just going to put salt in the wound for the Italian now in the pits. Unfortunately, even surely here, not facing the correct way. Was it a contact? Oh, he just went on the grass and lost it on himself, putting the car into the wall. As I think your championship leader is definitely having some trouble. In which case here, still trying to overtake the Finnish driver who started in pole. As more mayhem happens behind, as Garby is now facing the wall. Was it a mistake all by himself, or was it caused by someone else? Trying to get an overtake. Oh, he just went on the curb and lost the car and then sent it into the wall. So that's really what happened. You can see over the curb, tried to save, and then crashed into the wall and collected some other cars. There was a Ferrari there getting involved too. I think Congretel crashed because he's not in the race anymore. So I'm really sure that Congretel had a disconnection. So now Van Tielen is in the lead without too much trouble, and Neck just follows Grains in second place, with Veldman close to the podium. As we go back behind, Robinson is trying to recover as many places as possible. Just behind the McLaren number 96, but now a train has been formed. Oh, there is... Was that a pit maneuver? With a free physics which sends itself into the pits, but I think this was... If I saw correctly... Yeah, that's definitely not something I'm eager to see. With Ben Shawley, which essentially just pulled a pit maneuver on the number 336. I'm not really a fan of these things. And unfortunately Robinson is now into the pits. He was trying to come back from 40th place, he was already in the top 20. But unfortunately this happened. Meanwhile, for the lead, for the second place, apologies, in Semi-Pro B, that's Zedev overtaking the Shong. I don't think who. And that is for position obviously, but more importantly to not maybe getting approached by Haas in the triple free, currently in the Audi in 14th place. As he was starting in 14th and he is now back in 14th. Tobben, miraculously, is now 28 positions up from where he started. He was in 36th place in the Mercedes 119 and he is now in 8th place. Absolute masterpiece for now. As Drobat apparently had an incident there. Oh, that's a car. That's a gain. I think that's same Ferrari as earlier on. It is indeed the 669, which made another contact. This time with the number 7. So first this happened with the 219. Then this happened with number 47. So nothing at all. And then the number 7 made contact with the Ferrari. Not sure how though. As Ek for now is in 3rd place. With Vanman, which is closing rapidly on the duo ahead. With Bellman, who struggled to get into the top positions so far, so this is a good joker round for him to get back. Meanwhile, Smith makes an overtake on Donzi, number 47, that was for 18th place. as Hars here is also keen on making a pass over the number 9 ahead. That will be for the podium in Semi-Pro B. Now Asensio is tied with Tumainen in 9th place. The Porsche still leading his own class with the Finnish driver who just goes wide there for a moment. But in Semi-Pro B, he is currently in 7th place. He won the last 2 rounds, and this could be the 3rd in a row for the Finnish driver, who unfortunately didn't participate in 2 rounds and had one with a 16th place. Otherwise he could be one of the contenders for the very championship lead. As the number 71 lets Asensio pass by, understanding that it's not their race, as Asensio is essentially fighting with both Yaroshenko and Schneider. But the Porsche here is battling with Hars behind, with a Audi very close to the rear deck of the number 9 in 3rd place in class. With the carousel we went. As a steward here is also battling with Shekari for position. But I think something else happened here between the 96 and the 99. Oh, that's a bit of a loss of... Oh, there's also a contact between the 990 and the number 96. With the Englishman that lost the rear, tried to recover, actually recovered it, but then went in a contact with Smith, now behind. But back here, where Yaroshenko is also battling with the 2 cars behind. Oh, there is a car off. It's Schneider! That's Schneider, that was the leading class. Over the jump and straight into the wall. Just over the jump in Fansgarten. No, that's Brunchen. That's not Fansgarten, that's Brunchen. So that's the loss of position in class for Schneider, because now Asensio is your leader. As Velman. Ooh, that's Eck very close to Grains. That is for position number 2. With the 2 that are not giving the position. Oh, that was not a door closed. That was an entire gate being thrown at the McLaren. But Benjamin Eck made it into position number 2. But the McLaren has still a shot in the gun. Ooh, some contact door to door between the 2. But I think I really think that that was the final bullet in Grain's gun. Unless something magical happens just here in the GP circuit layout prior to the Nordschleife. But for now it doesn't seem like this. Meanwhile, Schneider obviously goes into the pits to repair the car. As Zedev, now in front of number 9, goes on to overtake Yaroshenko, trying a cutback move, and it works perfectly with now the Porsche number 5 in 10th place. And I think they are trying to cover the gap between the red Porsche and Tomanen in front. For now in Semi-Pro B, we've got a full podium made out of Porsche 911 with the version 992 obviously. Still, this is a side-by-side between the two into the Schumacher S with Alexander Shredev, who keeps the position after a brief fight. Oh, that's a lunge way out of line for Yaroshenko. Oh, made contact with the Audi behind it. That was Hars, who was battling with the free up ahead, and now he also made a half spin, but this is what happened. So slight contact for the number 12, who tries to get back into the racing line. And that is the noise of an Audi which goes in anti-stall mode. He lost 10 seconds there and a few positions. Now he is behind De Jong, Novak and Yaroshenko. As now Schneider is out of the pits. He had to repair the car for an entire minute. And he has to cover back the gap in less than an hour and a half. He just has 70 minutes to try to recover everything he lost. He is still in 15th. And, oh no wait, he's in, I was looking at the tower, he's in 21st, but apparently he's back in the pits. Well, he was still in 3rd place in class, no, in 4th, apologies. Certainly that's not the case anymore, as Novak is trying to overtake on Zedev on the outside with some front-end damage for that BMW. Not sure why Schneider went back into the pits. As he still had a 3rd place there. But probably very gutted about the fact that he was leading his own class. And considering his championship position, he probably thought that keeping the light on wasn't really worth it. Into the triple right-hander. Just closing on Versifine. The slowest part of the entire circuit up to 1st gear. Well, down to 1st gear rather than up to 1st gear. Then over X-Mule, which is the bridge section. And then this is one of the best parts of the entire circuit in my mind. Because it's so quick and it's so... it has its own flow. Oh, that's That was a mistake up ahead. With Ek, who made a switch with Grains. This was an odd one. The difference in speed was enormous between the two. And the 119 is into the wall. Oh, he just went over the curb, lost the rear, lost the front, and lost everything. With a car with immense front-end damage there. He was in 7th place after starting from 36th. But unfortunately, he lost it all there. So now Novak is in the top 10. Just behind Zedev. Yeah, Ek certainly has an issue because he lost 2 seconds from that overtake. Whether it was an issue of some kind with the car or with something else, but he certainly slowed down massively. Even because the gap was quite large earlier on. It was up to 10 seconds. Meanwhile, the overtake goes on, and number 22 is now ahead of Zedev. So now Novak is in 9th place. Zedev still has to battle with Deshaun for the 2nd place in class. By the way, yes, it's quite clear that Ek doesn't have something put correctly because he lost another half second there. Meanwhile here, side by side between the two, with a portion outside on the curb. Oh, it's nearly 3 wide! It's just side by side. But Zedev is now in front of Novak in the number 5, and that was a very good overtake there. We can have a better look here. Oh, he just went on the gravel, that's why. And it was a side by side here. Without Novak in, well, quite behind. So this was the continuation of that overtake. Then over the jump. Oh, he just went on the gravel again, and then over the grass. That's why he is now behind the Yaroshenko in the Shong. As Canton is now ahead of Tobin. His car heavily damaged, which is very unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He was making an astonishing comeback from the very, not the last, but the 3rd last row. And the Ferrari goes on to overtake number 9 of the Shong. It is for 10th place overall. So we still have 19 drivers that have to make the mandatory pit stop. Martin still keeps the fastest lap of the race with an astonishing 209.3. Grains behind made a 8.13 with Ek with a 8.16.2. But now Ek is closing again, so either something went wrong or it was just a moment. As behind this is still ongoing. Although with some more gap now, as the Ferrari number 12 is now a second behind. and also Drobat battling with Oreskin for position number 22. They already made the pit stop, so this is just pure racing until the end. They have to go for an hour and 10 minutes since they pitted so early. Oreskin practically pitted at the end of the first lap, so currently I don't even know if he can make it on fuel. He maybe requires another stop there. Could it be? But in the championship, situation is now greatly impacted all of a sudden, as Yaroshenko is now in 9th place ahead of Zedev. So as I was saying, Ventilen currently still has the lead in the championship, and he will enlarge the gap by 20 points he already had. Abusov is not in this round, so this means that third place is safe here, because Kroes was not at the start of the race, neither was Low, Lucas the same, Congretel disconnected unfortunately. With Grains, who just made the last 2 rounds with both a third place, this could be the best in season, 2nd place. In Pro Class, Tom Wegman already had the championship prior to this round. Ahead of Tomoko Skis in 2nd place, and Elias Fernando, who is not in the race anymore. Because I'm quite sure, wait, I actually saw him in qualifying, but then he didn't even start the race, so something may have happened there for Fernando. And in front of then Holden and Canton in 5th place. And in Semi-Pro A, we got Daniel Duarte and Alessandro Germani, who were 3 points apart. Now the situation is quite different, because they were both in the leading places, and now one of them is last in class and the other is not in the race anymore. Which, ironically, if the Italian would have stayed on the race, he could still have a chance, since his rival essentially crashed on himself. So this could be Duarte's win in the championship. In 3rd place is Andrea Massenzio, 71 points behind Duarte. Then Gibbons follows 21 points behind the Italian, with Messina in 5th place. Then in Semi-Pro B, I think that Poitrok has the championship, because he was fighting with Latil, 52 points behind. But Latil is now in 4th place. And Pochtaruk is in 8th place, so the gap is yet to be fulfilled. Ars is in 3rd place. Oh, this could be a move by the Swedish driver, who is trying to find a way through to get into 2nd place. As we go into Dottingham, more than a kilometer of straight. Actually, if I remember correctly, it's even, what, 3 kilometers longer? Complexly. But obviously, on the slip sim, it's going to be quite easy for the Beamer to get through into second place, and that is in fact what happens there for the Swedish driver, side by side between the two. Both cars in lime colors. To be fair, only one of them is lime, that is just greenish. And oh, the 222 is into the... Oh, okay, that was... I honestly want to see it again. Grains absolutely outbreak the BMW there without any fear, and he is now back in second place. That was an incredible move, and Grains is still there in second place, you can see. Astonishing there. Honestly, great move by Grains. As I was saying, something happened here for the Italian in 222. Wonder if it has something to do with the barriers. So he lost the rear. It kiss. I really think it was kiss. In all of these. Oh yeah, that's why. With Kiss, who lost the rear and went into the wall. So that's the reason why he lost so much time. Ek is still here battling with Grains. As also both with Kiss, Deschong went into the pit lane, try an undercut and to repair the car. Scotty lost the place on Tobben in 23rd place there. But here still maintains the pressure on Grains. Still surprised by the move he effectively created, because I don't think that these two drivers are newbie or anything. They are very quick. They are lapping 8:15 in the Nürburgring. That's not really slow. But that braking point, that was on the limit for Ek. That was outside the limit for Grains, but he just didn't care. It was very, very good. Meanwhile, the 108 had some trouble after the jump, lost the rear. Just barely collided with the wall. So as you can see, Ek is, well, now you can see it, just behind Grains. Now the gap between Van Tielen and Grains is 25 seconds. In all of these, I just went through in the chat to see that actually, as said something wrong, because the Frenchman who was the pole sitter for this race actually had some help from Van Tielen. So you can see into the carousel. So this happened earlier on into the race. Apparently this was the contact. So there was some contact actually. I thought I will never know what happened there. I thought there was a disconnection. Here, Yaroshenko and Zadev still pressurizing each other for position number 8. This is currently the closest we've got on track at the moment. Closest fight. Don't know why I didn't say the subject of my sentence. I just love it. It was at 26.0 for Zadev, 25.9 for Yaroshenko, so the two are clearly very close in gap. There is still the fight for second place there between Grains and Eck, but this time Eck is still behind. But he has a straight where he could work it out. Meanwhile, Stewart also here about to lose the place on Hartz in the triple free, who was battling for the podium. He's now quite behind the field where, because he went on to pit earlier. But this means that he is now battling with Stewart for position, although it's not an effective position. As we are now heading over the straight, this is the best shot for Eck, but as we are ready so earlier, making the overtake doesn't mean he actually has the position. So once more, pulling out of the clean McLaren, just to stay alongside once more, but this time the BMW closes the door once again, just like the first time. And now Grains also goes into the pits, deciding on for an undercut, as Novak overtakes Yaroshenko with some heavy damage on the front of the car for number 12. So clearly something happened there for the second place holder in Semi-Pro A. As well has made the pass over Stewart. So now Grains decides to go on for the... it's not really an undercut, it's 2 minutes prior to the 50% of the race. Just repaired the car. No, it didn't actually have any damage. So it's off to go for Grains. And he is now behind Tumanen, Massensio, Velman, Jabudal, and obviously Benjamin Eck in second place. Novak also goes on to pit the car. He's in 9th place, number 22. Also, Velman is closing as time passes on Jabudal in front. That could be for the podium overall. Last lap it was an 8:15.7 for Velman, 8:16.8 for Jabudal, so the rhythm currently is 1 second at a time. This could be... Now this is actually the closest fight we have on track at the moment, with Velman and Jabudal just following one another. It's important to notice that now Grains is just behind Tuomonainen, and this could be a heavy impact on mechanic driver, although nothing really gets impacted there, since Tuomonainen give some room, and that's Jabudal losing the place on Velman in a odd way. So without putting any fight whatsoever. Let's remember that Jabudal is in Pro Class. To be exact, Jabudal, Kiss, Novak, Canton, Oreshkin, Tobben, Jones, Corving and Brown are, although with white number plate, not fighting with all the others since the others are in Alien Class. So they in Alien Class we've got Van Tielen, Benjamin Eck, Nico Velman, Grains, and Garby in 26th place. We also had the leader, the pole sitter, but seems like a contact with Van Tielen brought it all to an end. Now Yaroshenko is back on track after the damage repair, and he's just a second behind Robot, who is in a third place in class. We still have 8 cars that have to pit. although the gap seems like it's enlarging with Robot now short of 2 seconds of gap from Yaroshenko. And trying to actually get Donsi, who is 10 seconds ahead. But the last lap for Donsi was 8:44, whereas for the Robot it was 20 seconds faster. To be exact, 25.5. No, 24.5, apologies. Grayson in this moment is probably going about a second or two faster than Ek, who still has to pit and will do at the end of the lap quite certainly, unless the plan is to go without a change of tires, which is a viable option, although I'm not sure how good it could be, since the Nordschleife is very demanding on tires. Novak is definitely struggling there. Oh, he just lost the rear. And gave room to the 333 who's passing by. No damage for the BMW. But that certainly enlarges the gap between him and Keys ahead in 10th place. As Van Tielen goes into the pits. I don't think any other will do any differently. And just as I said it, seems like it's done on purpose at this point. So Ek clearly goes on to not change the tires. Velvan sticks to the plan. On the limit, Jaudal goes into the pits too. Matenzio, leader in class, with the sky which is now quite clear. Yes, it's technically speaking, this is actually how it has to be said, because BMW is the English form. The correct version is BMW, and I don't care anything about anything. It's just as how it has to be said. As Zverev, did it came to a halt altogether? Oh yes, nearly to a halt. Clearly surprised by when will the race be red flagged? Unfortunately, the sky is clear, so we don't have the fog. Unfortunately, we don't have a 7.5 hour race in 0 24 hour. I'm still gutted, obviously. But on the bright side, an Audi won it, so I'm happy. Proving the point that Audi Sport is working, and an F1 plan is just stupid in my mind, but whatever. Like, it's not stupid economically, because it makes sense having a gigantic billboard running around tracks in the world, but I want an Audi Sport GT program, simply put. And I had the fact that they ruined my LMDH program for an F1 program. Because I wanted one. Meanwhile, Garby having some struggles there. Something happened there for the Swiss driver. Oh, he just went on the grass. Nothing too exceptional. Meanwhile, we lost Tobben. He's not in the race anymore. He was in 11th place. No, in 12th place, apologies. No, wait. Oh no, he went in 12th place because of a bit of a glitch, but he was in 20... I think he was in 23rd place. As that is now out of the pits. For Team SPX. Just behind the Shong. And your championship leader. There is a chance for the 24 hour. If you want, I can ask James to put it. Unfortunately, there is no fog in this game, but we have the chance of a flooded track. James, please put it flooded. And yeah, if it rains, because the weather in endurance is taken from the rear world. So if it rains in Nürburgring, it rains even in the race. If it doesn't rain in Nürburgring, it doesn't rain in the race for the 24 hour. I just hope it just rain as much as possible, because I love the rain, and I would like to say there isn't a better system, but there is. There are a lot of better systems that have the rain, but at least here there is some. I can't even say anymore, iRacing doesn't have it, because iRacing does have it. So yeah, it's not really helping. And yes, Audi made a huge mistake for the fans, not economically, because having an Audi F1 team brings you a lot more money than having an Audi GT program and an LMDH program in IMSA, very likely, and WEC. No, maybe not, because if I remember correctly, Porsche wanted to go in LMH and LMDH. No, wait. I think Audi wanted to go for LMDH and Porsche, but practically it was sort of a split. Can't really remember. By the way, the main thing is that an LMDH/LMH program and a GT program brings you less money than an F1 program. Well, it's not really an F1 program. It's more like buying Sauber, switching the name and calling it a day, because that's really what happens. It's not a power unit manufacturer, and F1 is not the forge of technical advancement as it was 15-20 years ago. So ultimately, F1 now is just a show. It brings you a lot of money if you are in it, and that's why Andretti wants to join, but they can't, because otherwise there is less money. So you can understand the rhythm and the path there for the whole thing. I'm very much into these things, so I'm a bit of a wiki in such things. It's an overrated sport, yeah. Yes, it is. I am not afraid to say it. Formula 1 is overrated. Absolutely. There are a lot of series around the world. We got NASCAR. If you really want to have a good comparison tool, you have IndyCar. Also Le Mans for Canapino. And the whole Junko's thing. You have NASCAR, if you really want. You've got WEC, IMSA, both in Prototype and GT. You've got the GT World Challenge, no, to be exact, it's the Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS, just because the name is stupidly long. There are a lot of series that deserve more. Technically speaking, you have the Intercontinental GT Challenge, even if like 4 people are in the championship effectively, except the 24-hour. You have NLS if you want. You have DTM for the 14 Germans that watch it. There are a lot of things. And the problem is that F1 is just F1 because I mean, yes, it's also because F1 has the fastest drivers in the world and the technically fastest speeds in the corners and a higher degree of danger, but it's a lot of show even, if you will. But that's just a very long discussion I would really like to do, but I don't have a podcast unfortunately tonight, because that podcast will come in the 24-hour Nürburgring. Very likely, without even joking, it will come in the 24-hour Nürburgring, because if anything, since I technically, well, I am in the commentary for certain, quite sure about the fact that I am also driving, so I will be very tired and I will just talk about these things. Oh, Kiss is off there into the gravel. So something happened here in the Audi R8. Over the left hand side, just went straight. It's a very odd situation for Domokos Kiss, as the Hungarian just went straight into Schwabisch once. As the robot is definitely closing the gap, but also Latil is in proximity. But yes, if you have any question, technically I should know them. I am a 360 degrees motorsport fan, so I kind of know about everything. As Canton here overtakes Zero for 18th place. That's not an overtake for an overtaking class, that's just an overall position between a pro class and a semi-pro B. As Latil went wide, even him, he just went wide on the same place as Domokos Kiss earlier on, just went straight, but this time, oh, with heavy damage on the car. 6th place in semi-pro B. Although Serov is 30 plus seconds away. The robot is now around 3 seconds away from Donsi, who is the main target for 2nd place in the class. We're talking about semi-pro A, where Duarte is and will likely be the winner in the championship, although he is last currently in the race, but in his own class. Well, he's running last, but he's not really last, since he's actually his rival is certainly behind him, Alessandro Germani. Masensio is currently the leader. He is in 3rd place, but he is 70 points away from the duo ahead. He could still reach 2nd place. It's actually very, very possible, but I really doubt for the lead. Benjamin Eck clearly is on a different tactic than anybody else, trying to go for the longest possible stint. He has been out for 63 minutes, and he doesn't seem to be over with it. So Mercedes has to overtake late hill. Oh, just prior to the Nordschleife section, and he goes on to get 15th place, a second and a half ahead is his rival. The last lap he lapped in 8:25.6. 8:21 was the robot's lap time. Yoroshenko now has a 4 seconds gap to the robot, but the last lap time was at 23.1, so you can still get Donsi with some timing. Obviously the question is if X plan will work, not because of fuel but more because of tires, because after a while those tires will be over, in terms that they will not reach the next lap if he goes too hard on them, because if he gets a puncture it's essentially game over. FMP car now is in second place in class, 14th overall. And remember that if you are from only the Masters Semi-Pro or only the Master Alien / Pro, ooh, that was a very odd situation there. So I think Dossi just went wide into the grass and lost not only one, but 2 places, because also Letil, oh, he just lost the rear, that's why. Went on the grass, lost 2 places, and now Drobat and Latil are in front of the Italian. So now Drobat is second in class. And more importantly, Yoroshenko is now very close to the podium in class. So as I was saying, if you are seeing more colors than the usual, is because the red colors are the Semi-Pro B, the grey colors are the Semi-Pro A, and the white colors are both the Alien and the Pro. In the Alien class we've got Ek, Vantillen, Grains, Velman and Garby. All the others are, and Orshkin, apologies, all the others are in Pro class. As here, did Little made a mistake, or he just went on the curb twice, some damage to the left of the car, and 2 positions also have been lost there. Now Yoroshenko just follows. And that's game over. That's essentially game over for Benjamin Eck, because he just got a stopping of 30 seconds penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So his whole tactic, okay, I managed to say it. His whole tactic revolved around not changing tires and stay in the pits for as little time as possible. The consequence is that he is the only driver that had the penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so he will be the only driver that will go in the pit lane twice. A stopping of 30 seconds is practically a minute, so this means that both... oh, the 222 is off, the Pro 3 apologies is off. What happened here for the Audi driver? Oh, just went on the grass. Oh, the car was already damaged though. just came to a halt, and he is not in the race anymore. So I'm not sure what happened there for the triple free driver. Clearly an incident, but apart from that, I have some trouble understanding the whole lot. So as I was saying, Echo will now have a minute of penalty and damaged tires, so this means he for certain is going to be behind Cranes, Velman and Jabudal. And little reminder, he is second, 20 points away from Van Tielen. And the next car is Velman with 119 points, so that's definitely not going to be a change in the championship. But unfortunately, this will not be a second place for the BMW in the number 86. As here, Yaroshenko in the number 12, just entering the Dottinger Hole. In less than 30 days, we will have another race here, slightly longer, 24 hour. I think there are still some spots available. I'm quite sure about that. July the 6th. Let me have a look. There are here it is, the possible overtake between Yaroshenko and Donsi. Into turn 1, could it be? As the number 47 breaks earlier than Yaroshenko. As the number 12 goes a bit wide, but I have the inner side into the shortcut. And I think that's the third place in class, which is 13th overall for the Ukrainian driver. Oops, apologies. And the next target obviously is Drobat, but for now the time is not helping, since he is losing 3 seconds per lap from Drobat. So as I was saying, there are obviously a good chunk of slots still available. Così in the Endurance Championship, this is the last race of the second block. So this means that after the 24 hour there will be about a 4 month, no apologies, a 3 month. I can't even count from July to September. 2 months of time between one endurance race and the other. And also this gives the teams who are participating in the championship, a chance to change the car, which comes handy with the new Mustang that just came out. Since I think many teams will be keen on driving the muscle car, the big V8 engine. As we are heading into the last 2 laps of the race. Athena still has to finish his ride in the Dottinger hole. Also, speaking of GT racing, if I remember correctly, it's also in real life. It's Zandvoort for the GT4 challenge. I'm quite sure about that. Not 100%, but quite. And also there is the... No, it's the DTM, and it's not the GT4 challenge in Zandvoort. So this is Benjamin Eck going into the pits to serve the stopping of 30 seconds penalty. Obviously being sure to avoid speeding once more. This means that the Grains will ultimately be ahead. That's for second place in overall. The next one is going to be Velman, very likely, after the end of Dottinger Hole. And very likely also Jabular will be on the same idea. Meanwhile behind, Donsi is still attacking the car ahead. So it's clear that the podium positions in class are not defined yet, as Yaroshenko and Donsi are still battling for the 3rd place. Quite clear that the Ferrari is struggling a bit more in this technical part of the circuit. Oh, that's a bit long. Out of line for Yaroshenko. In fact, that's Donsi going into the podium for now. Yaroshenko losing the podium just here. I think this could still be neglected, as the main straight will then arrive, and that will be of key importance for the current driver, now in 4th place in class, or in 14th overall. Already a second has been case. I think maybe he has damaged the car. He clearly has damaged the car somewhere. That damage is impacting massively the situation. I thought it was more of a visual glitch than anything, but it's clearly some heavy damage for the car number 12. Clearly having difficulties even turning. This just gives a little 14th place overall. With Ferrari losing a lot of time here. You can see already 3 seconds behind Donzi in just the last part. No, 3.5. He's practically losing a tenth every 300 meters. I wonder if that will be enough to put the number 12 into the pits. Clearly not enough. Maybe because the number 63 of Messina is a minute behind. 8:45 for Yeroshenko in the last lap, so that's why the difficulties. And that's Ek in 5th place, just behind Jabudal in 4th. He is 20 seconds behind Jabudal, and I doubt that gap can be reached, especially because with 2 laps to go. Well, now 1.5. He has to gain back those 20 seconds with damaged tires. So this means that I can't even push them to the limit. Also, Drobat now getting closer and closer to the Shang. 3rd place in class currently for semi-pro B, and 13 seconds behind Novak. So this is Drobat's charge to at least get into top 10 after the initial wrecks. So the car that gained the most out of all these races is Donzi in 13th place. Number 47 gained 28 places since the start of the race, since that car was starting in last place overall, not even in class. And now it's in 14th place. The second one is then Leitil, who started in 49th place. He is now in 14th place. And then we've got Zaydev in 9th place, second in class. He was starting in 26th. I can say who is the biggest loser in terms of grid places, since essentially I can't know for whoever is not in the race anymore, and the number 12 is going very slowly there. Oh, that was some more contact with the wall. With a car that is really in a bad shape. No, he is not yet. It's quite clear that Yaroshenko currently has some difficulties in the car. Driving very slowly. And with his rhythm, it's actually possible that Messina takes his place. Carvalho is a lot of seconds behind, it's actually minutes behind. But now Canton is approaching very rapidly his position. Quite sure that Yaroshenko will not defend at all. Also Drobat is now there for 11th. Just over the curb. As we also reach the final lap for Van Tielen and the whole field. Still lapping as quick as possible. 8:10 was the last lap for Van Tielen. When a 792 is into the wall somewhere. So something happened here to Chris Jones in the Honda 792. Oh, he just lost the rear. I think, yeah, he made it. He didn't collide with the wall. Good save there. So this is what happened from an external view. He just lost the rear, kept the car horizontal, but didn't collide with the wall. Also, Massenzio lost the car there. Mosquito. That's in my face. So that's Massenzio also losing the place on Keys. Although I still think that Massenzio can still get the position back on the Hungarian. That will be 6th place overall, because he's still top 5 is still too far away for the Italian driver. An entire minute to be exact. So currently 2 fights are going on. The first one is for 6th place, the other is for 11th. But both of them are not in class battles, they are overall battles. As here Drobat just exiting the Porsche slipstream. It's going to be a challenge of who breaks later. I think in either way the winner is the number 7, who is now in front of number 9. That's for 11th place overall, with Novak 12 seconds ahead. So it's still possible for Drobat to get top 10, although very, very difficult. It was just me trying to demolish it, to be honest. I hate mosquitoes, not because of anything, but because I am allergic to them. So I kinda have to obliterate them as soon as I see one. As Donsi unexpectedly has to pit, so very likely out of fuel. Yaroshenko, lucky for him, is very far away. I don't think he will change the tires, so for now we'll stay here with Massenzio. Just behind Keys. Which is just going wide there. As a matter of fact, Donsi just made a 9-second split and came out 16 seconds ahead of Yaroshenko. At this point has some heavy troubles with the car. In fact, he just went into the pits to repair the car, but that I think will be enough to put Messina ahead. No, because even Messina has to pit. So both Yaroshenko and Messina into the pits because the fuel wasn't enough. But either way, I think Yaroshenko will lose the position on Messina, mostly because the 65 does have to repair the car as much as Yaroshenko. Well, this is not a position in class, but it's a position nevertheless. And if you no longer go for a position that exists, you are not a racing driver. Something, Senna. I know it's not the exact quote, but I don't care. The exact quote is a bit stupid in my opinion. Because I think that a lot of people took that quote a bit too literally. Oh, that's wide for the Kiss, and that's the position lost. So Masensio is now ahead. We have to see it again, because what happened there is Kiss just went wide enough to get over the curb and the grass, and that's the Ferrari just passing through. So as I was saying, I think that quote has been taken a bit too seriously by some people that now try to put the car in the smallest possible places. But for now, it's going to be Van Tielen in the car number 214, so for Sim Racing Belgium. Inter Van Tielen has been first for nearly the entire duration of the race. And he's going to win the Norwegian 90 minutes last round of the Masters Championship. And the championship, because he is now your championship winner in the Master Alien class. 40 euro Steam gift card for the Belgian. Doing donuts. Okay, there is still some time. So, the served donuts for the 214. I'm sad that you can't really do like burnout kind of donuts, but that's the budget we have. Second place is going to David Grains for F&M. McLaren starts in 4th place. For Fear Nothing Moto. That's going to be the British driver, which made 100% podium realization in the championship. That's second place for him, and then Nico Wellman in the podium. I think that's the first podium for him. That's a third place for Nico Wellman for 2S Community. As a matter of fact, he made 5 races. That's the first podium for the Porsche driver. Jabudal completes the race in 4th place and a win in class, because he is in pro class, and that's Benjamin Eck, unfortunately only 5th. And the runner-up in the championship. We then have our winner of the race in the 222, who still has to go through Dottingerhöhe. huge portion of the field still has to complete the race though. I think number 12 is going to be the last car. So that's Andrea Masensio, Francis Corsa in 6th place with Domokowskis in 7th. Tuonainen is going to be your winner in Semi-Pro B and Zedev in Semi-Pro A, and apparently we don't have to wait since the race has been called. Okay. I didn't expect this, okay, I'll be honest. So Zedev is your car in 2nd place, then we have Novak, Drobat, Deschong, Little, Canton, Puchtaruk, which is your championship winner in Semi-Pro B, then Donsi, Serov, with Messina, with Jones, then Orekin, Stewart, Yaroshenko, Cotterill, Carvalho, and Duarte, your championship winner in Semi-Pro A. All and in silver class, in pro class, apologies, we don't have our winner, but it was Tom Wegman in the championship. But this was all. Okay, I have been amused a bit. But this was all for the Masters Championship season number 13. This is the calendar of the Endurance Championship because the next championship round will be at Nürburgring once more. But in the meantime, in the server, in the FRL server, you can find various races and the one-offs, and more importantly, there is going to be the Porsche Summer Cup, which will start in June the 20th, June the 27th, and July the 4th with the Porsche Cup. And then it's going to be the time for the SRO qualifier event. But everything is in the FRL server. In the meantime, thank you so much to have been a part of the viewership of this championship. I hope you all had a great time following me, Cristian Romano, and the drivers. This was a bit crash prone, let's say, but we went with it. And thank you so much to have followed the whole season. I will see you all in very likely the Porsche Cup, so in the 20th. But in the meantime, stay safe, have a good okay, obviously I did the entire evening without a single mistake like this, and I did it just now at the end. Classic. By the way, I was saying, have a good night, or good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and see you next time.